Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily and today I'm going to be reviewing this amazing set right here. This is set number 9499 and it is the Gungan Sub. I first of all can't believe I even own this set. This is such an amazing Lego Star Wars set, but also it was just such an amazing build. So I'm so excited to show you guys this set up close in a little bit. But just my overall thoughts on it are that it is really fun. Like the actual building process itself was a blast. I did it on a live stream yesterday and it was so much fun. The only issue with the whole thing is stickers, but I mean, what are you gonna do? And I feel like I should be honest with you guys. I definitely bought it for the minifigures. In this set, we get Queen Amidala. She is gorgeous, she's beautiful, she's like one of the best Lego Star Wars minifigures of all time in my opinion, and she's just amazing. We also get Qui-Gon Jinn, Jar Binks, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, so that's all really exciting. We'll take a closer look at the minifigures in a second, but something kind of weird about this set is like the actual scene itself. I'm not actually sure why Queen Amidala is in this set. She's not on the sub at all. We have this up here on the top corner of the box. It looks like they're having a Zoom call, which is kind of weird. I'm not really sure why that's happening. They never have a Zoom call while they're on the sub. I don't really understand why it's on the box. And then again here we have Queen Amidala greeting Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi at the port, the docks, I don't know, wherever you dock your sub. She's never actually there. So, I mean, my favorite part about this set is my Queen Amidala, but I'm just not really sure why she's in this set, so that's just kind of weird. But generally, as a Lego set, the play features in this are really cool. The minifigures are amazing. The build process was fun. There's really not too many complaints. I have some nitpicky things, but we'll get to that in a second. But anyways, let's take a look. Alright, so here's the Gungan Sub built, and I have to say that there's just so much going on this thing. There's a bunch of little details around it. The anchor in the front's really cool. The tail is awesome. There's just a lot of details to see, and from a first glance, you don't really notice them. So let's dive in and kind of take a closer look at these. So as for the front of the ship, we have our minifigures Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Jar Binks. Something to note is that this isn't actually accurate to the movie. In the movie, we have Obi-Wan next to Jar Jar, and then Qui-Gon Jinn is in the back. However, here, Jar Jar kind of has to sit in the back there because his head's kind of fat and he doesn't fit in the front. So, I mean, that's no biggie, but it's just something to think about. Like, it's not really accurate to the movie, but also it doesn't really matter too much in my opinion. These plastic domes on top actually look really cool. I'm very happy with how they look. They just make it look pretty slick, honestly. Like, I am very much a fan of those because without them, the set doesn't look as cool. Like, once I added on the domes at the end, it just totally elevated how cool the set was. And something to note in this one is we get a little undersea mine type thing. So it just says to put it in there, so that's usually what I do. But let me turn this around to show you what else is inside. This is something I'm actually very happy about. There's a spot to put the lightsaber, and normally they don't do this. I think they've started doing it more recently, but especially for this set being older, I'm really happy it's in there. That is very cool. I really do like that because the lightsaber doesn't fit with our minifigures in there. Like, there's no spot to put your minifigures with their lightsabers. You could kind of throw it in there and that would work, but I'm just not really too happy with that. So it's nice that there is actually a spot for those, and plus it does come with the older capes. These capes will bend through time if you have them on the minifigure and they're sitting in the sub for a while, so it does recommend that you take them out and kind of put them into this little compartment here, which is nice. It's nice that they tell you that. But there's also another spot to put the other lightsaber, so much appreciated. I love that they actually thought about that because sometimes they don't. So it's just a nice little thing that the designers included for us. As for the front of the ship, it would be nicer if these connected a bit more. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to make a smooth finish to it, and I guess they did the best they could with the pieces they had. I know there's other pieces that exist now that probably would have been better, but you know, it doesn't look bad. Like, I still think it looks pretty okay. I just wish that it did connect a little bit better. Like, these gaps don't look very good on the sides. Like, you can kind of see that these are quite large gaps on either side of it, but it is secure. Like, these things do stay in pretty well. I haven't had any issues with it breaking yet, so that's been really good. Something to note is that when you do flip it upside down, there's these two bombs on each side that aren't really secure at all. So if I were to flip it upside down, I'll do that right now just to show y'all. They just like fall out, and I don't really like that. I don't know, I guess you shouldn't be flipping this upside down, but I mean, if kids are gonna be playing with this, they're gonna do that, so they would either lose these pieces or, I don't know, just fly them out each time they tried to play with it. So not having these secure is kind of a bummer, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Again, that's kind of nitpicky. It's something that you could just take out easily and just kind of ignore. Like really the set looks just fine like this. It looks better with them in, but it's not the end of the world if you just want to leave them out. While we're talking about flipping it over, let's actually do that and take a look. So on the underside, oh, I just heard the bombs come out, that's fine. It has all of these pieces here, so it does slide a lot easier, which I really do appreciate, because in the picture on the box, it does kind of show the ship kind of bubbling through the water, and so I'm sure kids would want to be playing with this and like actually playing with it and bubbling it. There's the bombs. And having it slide, so it really does slide very easily. If it didn't have those pieces, I would be worried about it scratching this white table, and you'd probably see some scratch marks. But no, we're actually totally fine. It does slide quite well. Alright, so now let's take a look at my favorite part of the set, which is its tail. The butt actually spins, so that is kind of cool. And these pieces here just make it look really nice. You can spin this piece down here to make it look like it actually is bubbling through the water. So I just love that. Like, this is definitely my favorite part of it. And something kind of neat about this orange piece here is that it's from one of the moon rock sets. It's actually supposed to be a moon rock piece. Normally they come in a gray color, but this one's a trans orange color, which actually matches the front of the ship up here, these orange ones as well. So I really love that pop of orange kind of contrasted with the blue. That just looks like a really cool color combo. And then something else that's really neat about this that I do like is that this piece actually comes out. So this is like a little escape pod. I don't actually remember this being in the movie at all, but the top lifts up so you could put someone in there. I think the instructions recommended for you to put Jar Binks, but I mean, in the movie, they're all sitting together, so I wanted them to kind of hang out together. But that is kind of nice. It's a fun play feature. It kind of adds something to the set, so I really do like that. However, it definitely looks a lot better when they're kind of connected. So much better. Okay, so for the most important part here, swooshability, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's kind of awkward to grab it for swooshing. So yeah, that's kind of why it's 8 out of 10. It kind of docked down by 2 points. But yeah, overall, it is very swooshable. It is kind of nice. But yeah, just trying to find a good grip on it is kind of weird because of this whole like tail area there. But 8 out of 10 swooshability, I feel like is very fair. So by now you've probably noticed that there's no Queen Amidala here, and that's because she does not fit into the sub. Like, I know she doesn't really belong in the scene in general, or probably not even in the set. I don't know why she's in the set. Again, I'm very confused about that. However, she's my favorite part about the set, so I can't really complain. But here she is. She just does not fit into any of these cockpits, and it's kind of a bummer because it would be kind of nice to keep her with the set, because as it is right now, she can't fit. You could probably like plop her up top, but that doesn't really make any sense, especially if it's in the sub. So yeah, she doesn't actually fit in here. Her base is too big. Same with that one. And then the case for this one is that she's actually just too tall. So she is secure in there. As you can see, she is secure. She's sitting there right. I don't want to close it too hard because it might kind of dent her head. But yeah, you can't actually close it. Like you can see that right there. It's still open. You can't close it. She's too big. So again, I'm not really sure why she's included in this set, why that's the case. It's kind of weird to me. I am kind of confused about it, but I'm happy to have her. She's definitely the favorite part about this set. She is just beautiful. Another play feature I didn't mention before is the flick fire missiles, as you can see over here and here. This was just such bad technology. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the set with it, but just flick fire in general was not good. It's hard to use. It doesn't actually work too well. The new technology they use for it is so much better. So, I mean, I don't really play with this. I'm not going to be playing with this sub. I'm probably going to display it, especially my Queen Amidala, definitely displaying her. So it doesn't really matter to me, but if you're buying this for a kid and they're gonna play with it, just note that the flick fire missiles are not very fun to play with. So now let's move on to the minifigures, because these are definitely the takeaway of this set. These are beautiful, they're great figures. There's some printing that we only get in this set, and of course their Queen Amidala, she is absolutely amazing. She is the reason I bought this set, and I am not disappointed. Alright, so first up for minifigures is Qui-Gon Jinn, and I have to say he's probably my second favorite figure out of all of these. We all know Queen Amidala is my favorite, but Qui-Gon Jinn can be second favorite. His face printing's actually pretty good for this set, especially since Obi-Wan's is definitely lacking. I'll show you him in a second. The torso printing is pretty detailed along with the belt, and we get a little splash of silver in the front, which is a bit reflective, and I do like that a lot. On the back, we also get that torso printing, which I do appreciate, and the belt wraps all the way around him, which is also really nice. The hairpiece looks really cool, actually. I do really like this hairpiece that they used. Here's his alternate face printing. He has that mask that he's wearing so that he can breathe underwater, and this is the only set we get those in, so that's really cool to have this minifigure. Next up, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I have to be honest with you guys, his face printing is just so minimal. His hairpiece looks bad. I don't really like this minifigure too much. The torso printing is pretty good though, and I think it is fun having that Padawan braid down the side. I do like that. That's really cool to see. And the torso printing is pretty detailed, so I have to give it that. The torso printing's pretty nice. We have a bunch of that silver splashes on the belt again, so there are quite a lot of details on the torso. However, the face printing and the hairpiece just, I don't like them. And then when we turn him around to the back, I am happy to see this printing. I think it's detailed. I like it. I think the belt looks really good, and that silver on the back also makes it pop a bit. And then when we remove his hairpiece, we see the alternate face printing, and he also has that mask so that he can breathe underwater. So for this figure, I would say the torso and this version of the face printing are my favorite parts.
Jar Jar, use the bomba, Jar Jar. Miss no bomba. Here, Jar Jar, use this one.
Thanks, Ross. Here we have Jar Binks, and I know a lot of people don't really like this character. They might not like the minifigure because of it, but I have nothing against Jar Jar from the movies. I think he's funny. Yeah, he's kind of annoying, but I don't hate him like some people do. And I have to say this minifigure is pretty cool. I really like that torso printing. There's not really much going on there, but I kind of like how they did that with the vest. And then the headpiece on him is just so cool. I love the printing on it, the details. It's such an awesome minifigure, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection. I don't have a Jar Jar. I'm pretty sure my husband has some Jar Binks minifigures, but I don't. This is my first one, and I really like him. Okay, now finally, the moment you've been waiting for, and what I am most excited about in this whole set is Queen Amidala. This minifigure is gorgeous. She's beautiful. Everything about it is just, it makes my heart so happy. Like, everything about this minifigure just fills me with joy. So let me break this all down for you guys because there is a lot to see here. So the first thing to notice here are the two molds specifically made for her. So it's the dress skirt piece as well as her headpiece, and both of these are just executed so beautifully. Sometimes when they make new molds, they're not as good as we would like them to be. I have nothing I would change on her. She just looks amazing. She is my new favorite minifigure. I love her. All around the bottom of her skirt, you see those little orange and black bulbs, and I just think that's such a good touch. The paint job on those is really nice. And then all the way up along her dress, we see that gold printing, and it just looks so nice. It does shimmer quite a bit, so I'm very much a fan of that. Like, just looking at this, you know that designers actually took a lot of time and effort to make her perfect, and I really appreciate it. Let me move her a little bit closer now so you can see the face printing a bit better. This just looks so good. This face printing is only found on this Queen Amidala minifigure, and it's just perfect. I love the lipstick, the red dots under her eyes. Everything about it is just absolutely amazing. And just so that you're able to see all of the minifigure, I want to give you a side view as well. I don't normally do that with minifigures. Typically there's no printing on the sides, but on her, just the silhouette looks so cool. And then here's the other side of her. There's nothing different on this side than the other side, but I just want to emphasize that there's 360-degree detail on this minifigure, and it's just so cool. And now here's the back of our Queen Amidala minifigure, and the hairpiece is just so good. It's so pretty. There's so much detail there. You can see that there's a lot of kind of divots and detail around her braid or ponytail or whatever that's supposed to be, where her hair kind of poofs around. All of those lines in there just, it really does add to the detail to it, because they could have just smoothed that over and been done with it, but they didn't, and I really do appreciate the effort that was put into this. Overall, I'm really happy I was able to get this set, and it's a lot better than I thought it would be. I wasn't too thrilled about the actual build before I got the set, but once I was building it, I was stoked. It was such a fun set to actually put together. And the minifigures it came with, I was initially only really excited for Queen Amidala, but the other ones are really good, minus that face printing for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but everything else is just really fantastic. I've only had this set for a few hours now, but it's definitely in my top 10 LEGO Star Wars sets. This set just completely exceeded expectations, and I'm so happy to have it. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.